Welcome to the Neon Noise Podcast, your home for learning ways to attract more traffic to your website, generate more leads, convert more leads into customers, and build stronger relationships with your customers. And now, your hosts, Justin Johnson and Ken Franzen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of the Neon Noise Podcast, where we talk about topics that will help you decode marketing and sales. Ken, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Justin. How about yourself?
I am doing pretty good, doing a heck of a lot better. If my voice sounds a little scratchy, that's because I lost it, but it's coming back.
But you found it.
I found it. So combination of a little bit of fun and a little bit of sickness. So I found it, and I'm back.
Was it in between the couch cushions with the remote control and stale Cheetos?
Man, I don't know where it was at, but it was gone. I couldn't talk at all. I think it, so we had a chili competition over the weekend that we competed in. And I think it was a combination of a little bit of yelling there. And then one of my son's flag football teammates came and was a little under the weather. So I think that was passed along to the coaches as well. But we're back. We're back.
Gotta love Jeremy kids.
Jeremy kids, man. That's what happens when you have all those little ones. So
that's right.
Anywho, hey, I thought that today would be cool to chat about some apps, since we really haven't touched on any apps. Just kind of, some of the stuff that we use on a daily basis. Anything that everything doesn't have to be, centered around marketing and sales, just apps that we think might be beneficial for people listening and, to just help them get through their day better, more organized, stuff along those lines. What do you think?
No, this is great. Apps are a big part of our lives now. We all have them on our phones, devices, and there's more and more of them popping up all over the place. And it's interesting to think how much different our daily routines are today because of these apps than they were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So some of these apps,
it was difficult to pull up an app on your flip phone, right?
the dumb phones.
There's still flip phones out there. I think I know a few people that might have.
My dad has one.
Yep. Exactly.
But these apps that we're going to talk about, they are just things that now are integrated into our daily lives. And some of the ones we want to cover here today are apps Justin and I use regularly. I would borderline say they're the apps we could not live without.
Yep.
So let's start talking about these. A lot of these, some of these you might have heard of, most of these you might have heard of, but some of them maybe you haven't. And so if you can pull something away from our list of favorites that you can integrate into your daily routine, that would help you out with either maybe marketing, sales, or being more productive, or being more entertained, or whatever it might be.
Right.
Hopefully you can pull that from this conversation.
Cool. Let's dive in. I'm going to start with one that, we recently talked about, the importance of photos and good quality images and stuff along those lines for your marketing materials, for your website. Snapseed is a pretty cool app that I have been using for, probably 4 or 5 years. It's a photo editing app. I think that I originally started with Snapseed they had a desktop version that they came out with probably 5 years ago or so.
Okay.
And, what's cool about it is there's all kinds of photo editors and whatnot, but, I primarily use this for, when I'm taking pictures of the kids, the dogs, family, stuff along those lines. And you take a picture and you can literally take it into this program, into their app, and, do modifications to it, add filters to it, all kinds of cool stuff that, in the end, when you have, your original compared to your edited version, it looks like it's actually a professional photograph that was taken by a professional photographer. So it's a pretty cool app. You no longer have to import your photos into Photoshop and do all your editing into Photoshop. And, you can literally take these images that you're taking on your phone and have a pretty cool looking shot in a matter of minutes.
Absolutely. No, I use this app as well. And this was out long before the filters that were available on the iPhone. I think that's on a recent iOS update. Has some of this functionality, but Snapseed has a lot more than those simple filters. If you think what you have available on your iPhone right now would be the basic platform, Snapseed would be the advanced version.
Sure.
It definitely has a lot of cool filters and features that you can do some really neat things with your photos. And so I know sometimes you see pictures that people post on social media platforms, and it was taken with an iPhone or a smartphone, and wow, that's a great picture. And
right.
Look at the color. Wow, that's amazing.
It's because they dropped it into a similar program like this. I mean,
sure.
There's, like you said, there's a bunch of cool filters and whatnot, but the tools that I use the most, just like when you take a picture and, you need to brighten it up, or you need to change the contrast or saturation or highlights, anything along those lines. In the basic tools for this, it makes these photos they pop. They look great. And, then they've got some cool filters in there. Lens blur is pretty sweet. And that would be, just think about doing like product photos or anything along those lines where, you want to blur out the background and keep your focus on whatever that product is. This app is great for doing stuff like that. And it literally doesn't take but a couple minutes to do it.
Absolutely. No, that's a great suggestion. I like Snapseed. Now, is that a free app, or is it a cost?
So this app is free. Their desktop version that they have is paid, and I don't recall what that is. I think it was, maybe $20 or $30.
Okay.
They've got both Mac and PC available, but it's the app for your iPhone or Android device is free.
Awesome. It will include links to all of these apps in the show notes for everyone as well. So you guys can go check out and see what we're talking about on the sites. What I have on my list next is Evernote. Do you use Evernote, Justin?
I do. I use Evernote. I would say that I don't use it on a daily basis, but I use Evernote a lot for just basically grocery lists.
I use it for that as well. So Evernote it's a productivity. I consider an organizational. It's a note-taking type app, and I use it. I do use it daily. I use it to keep my sanity. I use it for about every meeting. I use it for every meeting that I attend, either in person or even on the phone, to take notes. I need to take notes. I have a horrible memory. Anyone that doesn't take notes, I'm suspicious of, because I don't think anyone has that great of a memory. But my problem that I ran into all the time is I'd have notebook piled up after notebook, and I don't have horrible penmanship, but I sometimes would go back and say, what was that word? And so Evernote allows me just to type in my notes during meetings, on phone calls, wherever it might be, that I can tag the notes. I can organize them in different notebooks. I can recall them with ease. And I like using it because it's available offline. If I don't have an internet connection, let's say I'm in a meeting in a coffee shop and I can't get a connection or something, I can plug it right into Evernote on my desktop version. And once I have an internet connection again, it will sync to the cloud version and save my notes there. Because some of you might say, well, Ken, if you're in a meeting, shouldn't you be logging stuff into your CRM? And yes, you should be. But my process that works best for me is taking the notes in Evernote and dumping them or compiling them down into the CRM. Because when I take notes, it sometimes is very sporadic and crazy, and you're trying to type and keep up with the conversation and everything going on. So sometimes thoughts aren't absolutely fleshed out or complete, and I like to circle back post meeting to my notes and tighten them up a little bit, and then dump them into the CRM so that when they get to the CRM, they're in a pretty complete version where someone that isn't me can read those notes and comprehend what took place at that meeting. So I think it's a great intermediary. You made mention of grocery list. That is another thing that I love using this app for, because what's kind of cool is
you can share those, right?
Yep, you can share those. So you can say, if your wife is the one going to the grocery store, but you made the list, you can say, "Hey, honey, here, let me share this list with you." Yeah, she has it on her phone. She can get the things she needs, plus the standard 10 things that we don't need. And so, I like the fact that it's syncs with my phone. So I'd have a tendency to do most of my note taking on my laptop, and in the event that I need to pull it up on my phone, it's boom there, easy. And it syncs very quickly. That coupled with the fact that it's free, there's a free version of it, is spectacular. I think that Evernote's probably, definitely one of my favorites. They do have a Chrome extension, a Google Chrome extension that will allow me to clip anything I find on the web and save it to a particular notebook as well, which is super helpful when I say, you know what, I want to reference this again. I use that a lot for recipes. When I find something, I'm like, ooh,
good idea.
This looks like, so I have a recipes notebook in my Evernote so that I don't have to say, all right, what website did I find that recipe on?
I'm going to have to start using that, because I think that I've always just been going in and typing everything up in there.
Oh, yeah. No, just clip it right to Evernote in a recipes notebook. And
wow, I didn't know that.
You will love that. One other cool feature is of the premium plan, which is really only $70 a year. And any salespeople out there, anyone out there doing networking events, you end up with a stack of business cards. I know not as many business cards get handed out as they used to, maybe 10 years ago, but even so, they're still being exchanged. And one cool thing in Evernote you can do is you actually can scan a business card, and it'll digitize the contents of that card right into. So no more tedious data entry.
That's awesome.
So for $70 a year, just do some math on what your time's worth. If you find yourself spending more than, I don't know, a couple hours.
Yeah.
If that's what you're, a year of data entry for business card stuff, then the paid version, the premium plan, might not be a bad option to go.
That's pretty cool. Very, very cool. Good stuff. I'm going to have to log in there today and copy over some stuff for some recipes.
There you go. It's handy.
Awesome. What do you think about Slack? Since we use that quite a bit on a daily basis, both of us, alongside everybody else on the Neon Goldfish team. Slack is a communication app that we use at Neon Goldfish. It doesn't matter if you're a small or large business. It's basically allows the members of your staff to communicate with each other, without the one thing that I like the most about it is, if I need to communicate with somebody that's not in my office, and I can shoot them over a message, and I'm not, they get it instantly. However, I'm not interrupting their day. Yes. And they can respond back, whenever they're, hey, do you have 10 minutes to talk? Well, maybe I don't have 10 minutes to talk until, 1 o'clock, and I don't have to call them and ask them that. So, it's an awesome application for, medium to small businesses, just to be able to communicate better throughout the office. You also have the ability to, upload documents, got, files or anything that you want to share with your team. You've got different channels where everybody could be included in that channel, and everybody can see that communication. So, maybe somebody calls in and You've got a support ticket or something along those lines that you need to get back to, and you could just message that out to your entire team and everybody can see it and collaborate on whatever it is that you're discussing. And you also have the ability to just reach out direct. It's kind of like it's kind of like an old instant messenger, but just on steroids, and you can add files to it and do a lot of different cool stuff to stay in communication with the team.
That's what I kind of think of it as is I am on steroids.
Yep.
It is. So when we first were presented with the idea of using Slack on our team, I was a little apprehensive. I was kind of like, all right, well, we have email and phones
and email.
Why do I need to start paying for something else? It was a newer team member that brought this to light a couple of years ago. And they were using it at their previous employer. And he's telling me about how great this is. And I'm like, dude, I'll demo anything. I'm fine with checking things out. And we started using this. I'm like, all right, this is kind of cool. This is kind of fun. But where I found, all the things you just described are spot on. Yes, it's awesome that you can communicate directly through. What I loved about it was it saves interruptions.
Yep.
If I Slack, and we use it, it's a company that I now use as a verb. But I Slack.
You're a slacker.
I am a slacker that slacks. Yep. And, but I'll Slack the team member that is well within, an eye shot, or I could talk at the same level I'm talking right now and get their attention, but I'll send them a message on Slack rather than saying, hey, Ryan, or hey, Jordan, so that I'm not disrupting what they are currently working on. I'm not stealing their time, to breaking their concentration, their focus. And it makes all the difference, because then now I can say, hey, I'll throw this question out to them and they can just respond back to me when they have a moment, which typically isn't very long. I mean, we work in those small spurts. And so I usually receive a response fairly readily. So the other thing that I like though, is when if I have a question that more than one person can answer, I throw it out to the channel. A channel, a group, a department. So if it's a question about something related to the content we produce here at Neon Goldfish, I post it to our content channel, and anyone that is involved with the creation of content copy here at Neon Goldfish is subscribed to that channel. They can chime in and answer it. So maybe it's not something that particularly geared at one individual. It's just like, hey, like you would shout off, you'd stand up on a chair in your office and you'd scream as loud as you can.
Right.
Does anyone know where the red scissors are? And then obviously that would be a gigantic disruption in everyone's day. So you can just throw out on the Slack channel, hey, does anyone know where the red scissors are? And when somebody sees that, they can then respond, they are in your hand, Ken. So nope, I like it. Slack does have a free version, but there are some paid plans, and there's some benefits to the paid plans depending on how much you want to use, how heavily you use, how big your team is. They have some awesome integrations as well. But I think Slack has been a pretty important recent addition to
it's awesome.
Our team productivity here at Neon Goldfish. And I know they're growing like crazy. It's amazing to see. Did they have a Super Bowl commercial this year, or was that last year?
Slack?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
I could be wrong. I'm going to try digging that up.
Dig it up.
All right, what's next on the list there, Justin?
Next on the list, let's go with Lose It.
Another good app.
Lose It. It's an awesome app. So Lose It, if you're like many of us or some of us, you may be trying to lose some weight or just maintain a healthy lifestyle. It's a great app. I've had this on my phone for, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years anyhow. And basically what I use it for primarily is tracking my daily calorie intake and basically what I'm eating for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, snacks, I can then go in and plug in any exercise that I do. And obviously that would takes in consideration, what you're doing. You plug in if you're going for a run or something along those lines and you went for a half an hour, then it'll give you an estimated amount of calories that you burned. And then it would take that off of whatever your daily budget is. So it's kind of cool because what I do, I don't know what I have plugged in here right now. I think I've got, that I want to lose 20 pounds. And what it does is it actually goes and it projects out your dates. So if I want to lose 20 pounds, and then it tells me that my budget for my day in order to lose 20 pounds should be X, and then I have a goal of, 20 pounds by May 1st. Okay. So it would project out that this is the amount of calories that you should be eating on a daily basis. And as long as you are actually plugging the information in, you're going to lose weight. And I can't even begin to tell you how many times that I've suggested this app to other people that are just, even if you're just looking to maintain and you don't even want to lose weight. It's an awesome app just so that, that if you're supposed to eat 2,200 calories a day and you're entering your information for, for example, I ate 2 oranges this morning and I had a protein shake at a little bit before we started recording today. And I've got 323 calories gone out of my budget of 2,036 for the day. So I know exactly where I'm currently at. And then if I go and I exercise, it adds to that. So as long as you're tracking your information and you're plugging in your daily calories for everything that you're doing, you should definitely be able to lose some weight and hit whatever that goal is by the specific date that you're trying to lose weight by. They do have a free version and they do have a paid version. I've been using the free version for quite a while. I haven't seen any reason to upgrade to the paid version. I think all they do is they've got a couple ads that they run on the bottom of the app that you could get rid of if you didn't want to see that. But a couple other things that are really cool about this app that I didn't even really think about until we started talking. You have the ability to connect with other users. So let's just say that, I tell Ken about this app and, he hops on and he downloads the app, then we can connect and actually see, what each other is doing. So like if you've got a specific goal and you're trying to reach your goal, it just helps you, encourage others that are using the app to, hey, make sure you're logging in because you get awards and everything. If you log and you track all your information each day, you get something different. So it's pretty cool. And, if you're looking to drop a couple LBs, then check it out because it's an awesome app.
This is another one that I also use. I didn't realize that we could connect though through that. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. And I think that I think we should hold each other accountable and keep in track. I like the app because I never have a hard time finding. I never know how many calories are in what I'm eating, right? And I think that's the biggest downfall is you start becoming more conscious of what you're putting in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
I still eat too much peanut butter, but I eat peanut butter. I love peanut butter. I don't know what it is about it, but I never realized how many freaking calories, like 200 calories in a, there's like, I don't know.
I'm going to find out. Hold on.
It's, here you go. Let's answer our question. I think there's like 190 calories in 2 tablespoons.
Okay. So there's 94 calories in 1 tablespoon.
All right. So I was pretty darn close.
But check this out. So this is awesome. So all I did, I just typed that in. I typed in peanut butter and it comes up and it has 1 tablespoon. It tells me that there's 8.1 grams of fat, tells me how much saturated fat, the cholesterol, sodium, total carbs, fiber, sugars, protein, all broken down. And, it took me 2 seconds to type this in.
Exactly.
And all you have to do is you have to add that. So you would click on add, you can go in and you can change, to 2 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons and click add and it plugs it right into your daily to your daily logs. It's just
exactly
it's
the
awesome.
library's immaculate. And what's really kind of cool is, one thing I always struggle with when I'm really trying to be conscious, we got spring break coming up. So, you're going to, a lot of us are going to travel and go to, someplace where we might, wear less clothing than we do,
Don't
normally.
wear the Speedo again, man, please.
No, that's retired. That's retired. It's framed and hangs in the wall in the basement. I'm kidding, everyone. No, but you go out to eat. If you're like me, find yourself sitting at a restaurant once, twice a week at minimum, with family, and you have that decision: am I going to make good choices on what I eat here, or am I gonna go for the rack of ribs and the baked potato? I mean, that's all sounds good, and that makes my mouth water just saying that. But would I have better choices looking at the menu? And the nice thing about it, you whip out this app, you can start plugging things in and be like, all right, cool. What can I have? What does this dish? And it allows you to quickly, because some menus now at restaurants are including how many calories are in their dishes, but most don't. And you end up looking at, I'm going to have a salad, and it's a 1,500 calorie salad.
Well, yeah, you can go back to those ribs and have, a half rack of ribs.
Exactly. And that's just it. That's the trade-off. It's a great point. I was like, okay, great. I'm going to have a healthy salad because I don't want to have those unhealthy ribs. And you're going to be miserable eating that pile of lettuce with, drowning in dressing, or you'd be like, I could eat some fall off the bone tender ribs. And
I'll tell you what's pretty cool though. I just typed in ribs. And, some of these portions are, they are small. They're not pretty small. 3 ounces, 3.5 ounces. But then it actually goes in and it's looking at, no
one's ever eaten 3 ounces of ribs.
Well, I get that. But what I'm saying is, so there's Longhorn Steakhouses in here.
Okay.
Butcher's Prime's in here. Old Country Buffet, Famous Dave's, Texas Roadhouse. These are a lot of chain restaurants that definitely don't publish this information, where you can just hop on here and check it out and know exactly, the amount of calories that you're putting in, just by doing a simple search.
Yeah. Great app. Definitely. If you are trying to be conscious of your food intake, I know there's others out there, but this one I know is popular, but it is super, super, super awesome.
Yes, it is. All right. So Lose It. Check it out. That's a pretty cool app. What do we have next on our list?
HubSpot CRM.
HubSpot CRM. Do you use the HubSpot CRM?
I do. I do use the HubSpot CRM.
I do as well. This app is awesome. You could use this for both productivity, sales. Actually, you can use it for marketing as well. It depends on if you are set up with HubSpot with a specific account in order to do this stuff. But HubSpot does have a free CRM that you can set up and ultimately set up your app as well to tie right into the sales side of the CRM. That's primarily what I use it for. It's pretty cool. It allows me to go in and just see any deals that I have that are created, and I can go through and I can see if I've got a projected job that's supposed to close on 3/1. It'll tell me, exactly, where that's at. I can click on it and I can actually, log right in and I can see exactly what's connected to that deal. Primarily, one of the things I use the CRM the most for is tasks. After every call that I have, I go in and I create a task for either a follow-up or if I need to send, somebody over some additional information, or, maybe they weren't available that day and they're going to be available, on Monday instead. I would have all that information tasked out my task list, and it would give me a daily update of exactly what I have going on that day. It's perfect for, you can go in here and you can actually change, your daily over to what you got going on that week. Just makes you stay on top of everything, makes you stay a lot more organized. I also use this for, I have an activity stream on mine that actually tracks whether or not if I send out some information to somebody, it'll actually give me back, the context information and tell me whether or not they've opened that document up. If they've looked at it, I can actually click on it and see when they took a peek at it. So it allows me to do quick follow-up with contacts that are active and actually looking at the information that I'm sending over to them. But, and then obviously your contacts are at your disposal if you're out and about and, you want to look up something on a meeting or a conversation that you had with an individual and it took place in November. You just hop on here, pull that contact up, pull up all the information about the meeting and have everything at your fingertips relatively quickly. Those are the items that I like the most about it. What about you, Ken?
Those are all real good points that you made, Justin. I love the CRM app, mostly because when I'm out and about on the road, I don't do as much selling activities as you do at Neon Goldfish, but I do have a lot of interactions, and most of my data entry is sitting at my desk as far as into the CRM. But the thing that's nice about that is with this app, you can access my notes while you aren't in the office. That's why I think it's the best thing about it is we've used a lot of CRMs in the past. I find that HubSpot did a great job with their app. Others that we've used in the past, the CRMs are just the apps, at least the CRMs. There's a lot of great CRMs out there, but the apps I've found I haven't lived up to the full functionality or at least close to the functionality of the full desktop version. And I find HubSpot's is obviously you can't get everything out of a mobile app that you can out of a full desktop version, but I'm pretty geeked. I like it quite a bit. It's
it's free.
Well, yeah, it's free and
free.
You can't beat that. It's
right.
So we've talked about using, if you're not using a CRM, there's no excuse. Now you can have it at all points in time connected to you, whether you're sitting at a desk or out and about. So that's one big benefit in keeping track of everything, especially when it's information between two different individuals or a team of individuals. That it's nothing more useful than being able to pull up or recall the notes of a particular contact. No easier way to do it than a CRM.
You got it. So check out the HubSpot CRM app. All right. What do we got on the list? What's next?
Next on the list is a newer app I've found that I am loving. It's called Pocket, like the pocket in your pants.
Okay.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I know what Pocket is. I don't think I've heard of Pocket. So this is cool. What's Pocket all about?
All right. So Pocket is, let me paint a picture and I'll tell you how it helps. How many times have you been going through the inbox and you come across an article from someone sent you a piece of content and you're like, wow, this is awesome. I want to read this, but I don't have time to read this
every day, now. Multiple times, a lot.
All right. Great. So you want to read it, but you don't have time. And then let's say that you're at my most recent use of this was at my daughter's swim meet the other night. Mm-hmm. I have to get her to the swim meet an hour before the swim meet starts so that she could do her warm-ups and everything. And so I find myself sitting in the stands, waiting for the meet to start and for the rest of my family to show up. So I have downtime. And so how many times do you have downtime where you're like, oh, cool, now I have time that I could read that article. Now I have to go find where the heck it is.
That was going to be exactly what I was going to say. It's just the fact that I save all these things, but then I forget where they're at, or, you're like, hey, I really wish that, I could pull that article up, and, you can't even find it. I save stuff on. Yeah.
So what Pocket does, you install it on your phone, and there's a desktop version as well. And you quickly just save the article. You can tag it. So if it's an article on SEO by Neil Patel, I can tag it SEO Neil Patel. If it has an infographic in it, I can also tag it infographic. And I just do that because I'm OCD about organization. And I can save it for later, having peace of mind knowing that I will be able to recall that article with ease. One special feature that they have is the Google Chrome extension. So they have the desktop version, they have the mobile app, but I like my Google Chrome extensions. And whenever I'm surfing the internet, and I find something, just click the little Pocket icon on my browser toolbar, and boom, it instantly saves that and allows me to quickly tag it. Sweet. So yeah, it's nice. I always struggled with finding articles that I wanted to read, but where I'd really struggle is I'd be so worried about, especially if I ran across a great article, I'd be so worried about not being able to find this article again. I would stop what I was doing and start reading the article, which was a complete productivity killer.
Right.
Now I can blaze through and be like, nope, later, and I can compile a whole list. And so rather than reading, going to my favorite slum news site to find out what is horrible in the world.
Yeah, you're going to have everything at your fingertips that you actually want to look at.
Exactly.
That's pretty sweet.
It's awesome. And
is it free?
Many of these, exactly. It is free. There's no cost to Pocket. So
free.
Get yourself a Pocket. It's an awesome app. It's one of my new favorites. And I can't say enough good things about. I don't normally talk to people about apps out of the blue, and I've brought this one up in conversation a couple different times. So
nice. I just downloaded it. So
boom,
I've got Pocket.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. So what about Teamwork?
Teamwork. We don't use Teamwork, do we?
Not the only time that you haven't used Teamwork here yet today was the time I've spent recording this podcast.
Teamwork is active for everyone at Neon Goldfish, for sure. Hopefully everybody, maybe everybody's not logging into it via an app. However, they are definitely logging into our project board on their computers.
Yeah. So Teamwork is a project management platform we use in Neon Goldfish to manage every nook and cranny of all projects and maintenance updates,
tasks, milestones, everything.
Yes, it does. We log all of our time that we spend on every task we complete here at Neon Goldfish in that platform. It is truly our backbone. And you're right. You don't have to. The app is an extension, much like the HubSpot CRM app.
Yep.
This is a way to access this very important system to your business. And for ours, I don't think there's a more important component or application that we use than Teamwork. It allows us to access that via mobile device. And much like HubSpot, again, Teamwork they got it right. They did a great job because this app is awesome. There's so many moving parts to a project management platform, and it is so easy to use. I think that it's actually easier and quicker. This is kind of going to sound odd.
I know where you're going with this. You're
set up a task,
right? It is. It's easier to do on your mobile device on the app than it is through the dashboard.
I don't know why it is, but
it is.
The interface is everything's right there. I look at this thing and I'm like, why is this backwards? I wish.
I'll tell you exactly what the deal is, what's nice about this is you see exactly what the most recent item is for each one of our projects. Okay. So if it gets crossed off the list, that's exactly what you see for a particular client. Whereas if you're logged into the desktop version, you see that is the most active item, but then you see everything else that's below it. So it expands everything down. You just have a better snapshot of everything that's going on a daily basis with looking at it through the actual app. than you do the desktop.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that we might use that a little differently, because I think that you probably look at it. I have a tendency to just jump in and if I'm not in front of my laptop, check on a task or assign a task. Something pops into my brain suddenly, and I think, oh crap, I need to make sure that I get this task on the board before I think of something else and it escapes my memory.
I just checked off a task.
Perfect. And so it's super simple, easy to use. And so the app is free. You do need to have an account with Teamwork. Does Teamwork have a free version? I think they might have
they do.
We'll put a link. We'll put a link to the pricing structure for Teamwork, and all the other platforms will include, or all the other, apps that we discussed today will include links to in the show notes. But I believe that Teamwork might have maybe must be a trial.
Yeah, they've got we will include the links for everything, but I think the lowest, the minimum is like $49 a month that they have.
For the functionality you get, it's so worth it. If you have any need for project management,
they must have changed this actually, because it's based on projects now.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, great. Well, I think that wraps up our list of our favorite apps for the day.
It does. I think that's a wrap for apps today. Again, we just want to thank you guys for listening to our conversation today. Be sure to check out all the notes that we post on each one of these apps at neongoldfish.com/podcast. Thanks again, everybody, for all your support on the podcast. Leave us a review on iTunes, Google Play, or whichever platform it is that you are listening to us, and tell anybody else that might find our conversations regarding marketing and sales helpful to their businesses about the Neon Noise podcast. If you guys have an idea on a topic, a guest that you think would be great to have on the show, or just general feedback, just to make the show better, please send us a message through Twitter at Neon Goldfish, or send us a message through neongoldfish.com website. Have a good one, guys, and we will see you again next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Neon Noise Podcast. Did you enjoy the podcast? If so, please subscribe, share with a friend, or write a review. We want to cover the topics you want to hear. If you have an idea for a topic you'd like Justin and Ken to cover, connect with us on Twitter at Neon Goldfish or through our website at neongoldfish.com.